What if I told you that the chimney on your house, a piece of tech that's been basically the same for centuries, is actually a huge source of wasted energy? Well, today we're going to dive into something called the TechRox G2 heat trapping system. It's an incredible innovation that promises to turn your good old fireplace into a power-generating, pollution-scrubbing energy hub for your entire home.
You know, a traditional chimney really only does one thing. It gets smoke out of your house. But here's the thing. That smoke is carrying a massive amount of heat with it. We're talking up to 70% of the energy from your fire just, gone, straight up into the sky. And it's not just heat we're losing, it's also pumping out pollutants. So the G2 system comes along and asks this really simple but revolutionary question. What if we could actually capture all that waste and turn it into a resource?
Okay, so let's get into the core idea here, because it's actually brilliantly simple. The whole concept behind the TechRox G2 system is this. Don't just vent the hot exhaust from your fire. Instead, harvest its energy before it even thinks about leaving your home. It's all about being way smarter with the resources you already have. So how does this thing actually work? Well, it all kicks off with the G2 heat trapping module. You got to think of this as the heart of the whole operation. It's the component that grabs that hot exhaust and starts the process of turning waste into something incredibly valuable. Now, take a look at this diagram. You can really see the clever engineering at work. That hot exhaust gets funneled through this maze of copper tubes, and they use copper for a reason. It's a fantastic conductor, so it just strips the heat right out of the smoke, super efficiently. The whole thing is wrapped in a steel frame with these heat-reflecting walls, which makes sure that pretty much every last bit of thermal energy gets captured and put to use in your home.
What really makes this system so versatile is its modular design. It means it can be adapted to fit all kinds of different homes. And check out that last point, the low-power exhaust fan. It might seem like a small detail, but it's absolutely vital. It keeps a steady airflow moving through, which just maximizes the efficiency of that heat exchange before the exhaust moves on to the next stage, which is getting clean.
Alright, so once the G2 module has pulled out most of the heat, the system gets to work on the next big problem, the pollution. Let's move on to the J2 module, which is designed to literally wash the smoke itself.
And this right here is the J2 Smoke Reduction Module. Seriously, the best way to think of this is like a mini car wash for your chimney's exhaust. Right before the smoke gets released outside, it has to pass through this chamber where it gets a full-on scrub down.
The process is actually pretty straightforward and pretty fascinating. First, a humidifier sprays a super fine mist of water into the chamber. This makes all those tiny dust particles heavy. Next, that damp smoke passes by these static electricity plates, which act like magnets for dust, just pulling all those particles right out of the air. And finally, all that dirty water is collected and drained away, which means much cleaner air is what actually exits your chimney.
So, we've captured the heat and we've cleaned the smoke. But this system has one more trick up its sleeve, and honestly, it's a total game changer. It doesn't just make heat, it can also generate its own power.
This diagram right here shows the system's most ingenious feature, a thermoelectric module. Basically, this is a solid-state heat engine. All it needs is a temperature difference, hot on one side from all that captured heat and cooler on the other, and it just starts generating an electrical current. It's a really simple and reliable way to create power from heat that would have just been wasted.
And what this does is turn your fireplace into your own personal power station. Think about it. If there's a power outage, this system can generate enough electricity to keep your essential devices running. And we're not just talking about charging your phone. This could be enough to power critical medical equipment, which offers a level of self-sufficiency that could literally be life-saving for some people.
The thinking behind this system is bigger than just a single home, though. Let's move on, because this modular design is built to scale up, with the potential to create shared, community-level energy infrastructure.
These two diagrams really show off the system's scalability. Over on the left, you can see how it can be used to create a radiant heating panel inside a single home. But look at the image on the right. This is where it gets really ambitious. One single system providing heat for two adjoining houses.
This whole shared heating idea is incredibly powerful. By linking homes to one single, hyper-efficient system, neighbors can split the costs and share the benefits. You're effectively creating a tiny neighborhood microgrid just for heat. It cuts down on waste and consumption on a community-wide scale.
You know, the developers, TechRox, they call it a breakthrough in sustainable home infrastructure. And when you look at how it combines heat capture, pollution reduction, power generation, and shared resources, it's really easy to see why. It's not just one thing, it's a whole new approach to home energy.
So, it really leaves us with this big, compelling question. By completely reimagining a technology that's been around for centuries, could this modular, multi-purpose system be the blueprint for the future of self-sufficient, sustainable homes? It definitely gives us a lot to think about.